Hey collective, good morning. It's me. I'm here to do a morning motivational message. Remember that time is fluid, so whenever you see this message, it's when you're meant to see it. It's a general reading. It may not resonate with everyone, so please take what resonates. God's provisions in life storms. I'm reading this because I am in a life storm. It's not it's a disruption, It's a deviation from the plan, I guess you might call it. All right. So let's just read. When life feels overwhelming, God remains present and provides what we need for endurance. All right. None of us like suffering, but in God's hands, trials can become tools that shape us into the people He created us to be. In our strength, we often lack the resources and abilities to meet life's big challenges. So God provides just what we need and gives us an awareness of His presence. In today's reading, the disciples thought that they were alone in a storm. When they initially spotted the Lord, they were afraid because they mistook Him for a ghost. To quickly calm their fears, Jesus said, "Take courage. It is I. Do not be afraid." During a crisis, we may not sense God's presence, but He promised always to be with us. Oh, I'm getting emotional. Assurance of His presence provides immediate comfort and a sense of confidence that helps us endure. Another promise God makes is to provide a path through these trials, right? The disciples must have wondered if they'd make it safely to the shore. They might, But had they somehow avoided this storm, they would have missed the demonstration of Jesus' power. Sometimes we're going through situations so God can show His power, can show you that He can sustain you when you don't have the resources, when you don't have the strength, when you don't have the courage, when you don't have the thoughts or ideas or what to do, right? It's imperative that we don't go on our own, on our own understanding. All right, ask the Lord to let you experience His abiding presence. He will provide strength to endure and wisdom to identify the way through your troubles. All right, so pray, when you're feeling like you don't know what to do, you don't know how to do it, all right? God will show a way, He'll make a way. And I always say God doesn't bring us to it if He ain't going to bring us through it, So let's read what Matthew has to say. Matthew 14:22-34. Immediately He made the disciples get into the boat and go ahead of Him to the other side while He sent the crowds away. After He had sent the crowds away, He went up to the mountain by Himself to pray. And when it was evening, He was there alone. But the boat was already a long distance from the land, battered by the waves, for the wind was contrary. And in the fourth watch of the night He came to them, walking on the sea. When the disciples saw Him walking on the sea, they were terrified and said, "Is it a ghost?" And they cried out in fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid." Peter said to Him, "Lord, if it's You, command me to come to You on the water." And He said, "Come." And Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water and came toward Jesus. But seeing the wind, he became frightened. And beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." It's like taking on a responsibility and feel like you don't know what you're doing and it's not working and now you need help, right? Because lean not on your own understanding. Immediately Jesus stretched out His hand and took hold of him and said to him, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" When they got into the boat, the wind stopped. And those who were in the boat worshipped Him, saying, "You are certainly God's Son." When they had crossed over, they came to the land of Gennesaret. Why did you doubt? Right? When God say, "I got you," right? When you believe, that's your faith, but then He sends you a trial. Right? And then you start to panic. But we forget about that faith, that same faith we had, that faith of a mustard seed, right? We forget God takes care of everything. He takes care of all of us. He takes care of the animals, the birds, the animals of the sea. Why wouldn't He take care of us? Why wouldn't He, be there for us? And if you're in a trial, or if you're in a time where you don't know what to do or which way to go, remember, through all those other trials and all those other situations and all those other times that He was there. Yeah, this storm might be a little bigger. It might be something you've never experienced, right? But if we have faith, continue to pray, God will give us the strength, the courage, the perseverance, and everything we need, all the tools that we need to get through any situation. Don't forget that. Remember that. And this is just a reminder. This is your confirmation. All right? That's your message, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a good day. Deuces. Y'all stay up.